Good morning. Welcome to The Morning Touch. I'm Darwin Campbell. The Morning Touch is brought to you by the Chapters for the Homeless and the FSBC in Glendale. What if I told you it's Friday and you know on The Morning Touch what this means? Freedom Friday. It's a time for us to focus on the positive things going into the weekend that we need to help things get better. That's what Freedom Friday is all about. And today on Freedom Friday, we're going to share with you two verses that make the world a better place. Let me share something with you. Do you not know that contained in the Bible are 31,102 verses? 31,102 verses in the Bible, with an average of approximately 26 verses per chapter from Genesis to Revelation. So this 66 books of God's mind and heart, this 66 books is made up of 31,102 verses. I'm going to sum up this book in two verses. That on Freedom Friday, we are two verses away from making the world better. And it is my hope and prayer that by the end of this lesson, you understand what I'm talking about. That two verses can make the difference in the way we live, the way we act, the way we treat one another. Two verses that if you don't read any other verses in the Bible, these two verses can impact you. Let's go to them. Colossians chapter 3, verses 11 through 12. In Colossians chapter 3, verses 11 through 12, the Bible is pretty clear about this subject. And I want us to focus on it because I think it's very, very important to make the world a better place. As you go into this weekend, doing what you can and what you will to help things get better. Listen to Colossians chapter 3. It says, "Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye." You want to make the world better? You want to see how the world can improve in two simple verses? Think about what Paul writes in Colossians chapter 3, verses 11 and 12. What he tells us in verse 12 and 13 is this. He says, if you want to wrap this thing up in two verses, we need to look at the world through the eyes of a new heart and a new mind. And we need to step up to the mic and practice some compassion, some love. Practice and utilize and expend some energy on kindness. Practice humility over selfishness. Practice being gentle and patient with one another. You see, the dirty clothes of the old man does exactly the opposite. The dirty clothes of the old man has all kinds of spots and wrinkles in it, where we do exactly the opposite of what Paul tells us. The old man is selfish. The old man is driven by evil. The old man is driven by his own personal selfish desires. The old man is one who works in conjunction with Satan, his devils and demons. The old man is deceived by his own lusts, and he pursues evil at every turn. If we want to make the world a better place this weekend on Freedom Friday, it starts with you and I stepping up in new clothes as the new man in Jesus Christ. It means that we, for once in our lives, set our minds and our hearts on things above. We make our priorities that of Jesus Christ over ourselves. We cling to the idea that our citizenship is not here, our permanence is not here, that we work for a higher order, a higher power, that is God. 31,102 verses wrapped up in two, that making the world a better place starts with you and me. Only if we get out of the old, selfish, sinful clothes of man and we put on the heavenly garments of Jesus Christ. And then we walk in the light. We seek him first. And we start looking out for one another, doing good towards one another and for one another. My friends, if we want to make the world a better place, it starts right here. The government can't legislate the way we love one another, treat one another, are gentle with one another, are compassionate with one another. The teacher in the school can't even train that. Only putting on the clothes that belong to Christ, the garments of Jesus, can we learn how to live and love and treat one another with respect. If you want to make the world a better place, take that first step. Take that baby step. If you want to make the world a better place, start this weekend. Use Freedom Friday as an opportunity to get away to goodness, to get away to being humble, to get away to being kind, to get away to being gentle, to get away to being patient, to get away to being forgiving. You know, maybe there's someone out there that you have a tough time with, someone out there you don't like. My friends, put on the new garments in Christ and forgive that person. If they owe you money, forgive them. If they've wronged you, forgive them. If you just have an issue with them for something that happened in the past, forgive them. Whatever it is, give them a second opportunity. Forgive them of the wrong that they've done to you and step forward as the larger individual in Christ Jesus and show them the light of God. Making the world a better place would go a long way to us not having the quarrels that we have, not having the issues. I don't know how many times I've heard where people get mad because they were at a party and they were asked to leave, or they were at a movie theater or something, they were asked to leave. So they leave and they come back with a gun and they shoot up the place, killing people and hurting people. It's sad. My friends, we must learn from these two verses to love one another, to treat one another with kindness. We must learn to forgive one another. We must learn when to hold them and when to fold them, when to walk away and when to run, so that we can maintain peace and order in our society. My friends, it's time for us to put off the old self, because putting off the old man and the old self is the only way to make the world a better place. This Freedom Friday, make it your choice and decision to say, I will do what it takes to make the world a better place this weekend. I will demonstrate. I will show compassion. I will show kindness. I will show humility. I will demonstrate gentleness and patience, and I will forgive anyone who has wronged me. Anyone that I have an issue with, I will show them Jesus by putting on the garments of Christ and be forgiving as he has been with me. Oh yes, Christ has forgiven you. Christ has remembered the sins of you no more. Christ has forgiven you, and you must learn to forgive others. My friends, 31,102 verses in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation are wrapped up in these two verses. The world is a better place, and it starts with you and me when we learn how to treat one another. The Morning Touch is brought to you by the Chaplain for the Homeless and FSBC in Glendale. I hope, trust, and pray that going into your weekend, you have decided that you are going to practice those things that Paul talked about in Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 and 13. Make the world a better place. It starts with you and me. God bless you and keep you. See you next time on The Morning Touch.